In our wholesale company, between myself, Matt Beard, and Pace Morby, between two different individuals on our wholesale sales team, here's what their call numbers are like. So we have one sales guy that he typically on an average week makes anywhere from like 350 to 400, 420 phone calls a week. So, that's around 100 a day, Monday through Friday. Give or take, obviously, some days a little bit more, some days a little bit less, but on average, he's making 350 to upwards of 420 calls a week. And he's on average getting 2 contracts every single week. Now let's look at another individual on our team that is on average making 200 calls to 250 calls a week. This individual has been averaging, because I was looking at the numbers, has been averaging 0 to 1 contracts a week. And I think this second individual, is more talented at the sales process. So what does that say? It says the reps are what matters. The one that's making double the calls is getting literally double the results. And they're not even as good as the person that's making half the calls, but because they're putting in more effort and they're putting in more dials, they're having more conversations, and more conversations are leading to more contracts. So that's what you got to be looking at. Yeah, Aaron, at bats, they have more at bats, so they have more chances to get more deals done. So for everybody on here, if you're, for whatever you're doing to get deals, keep track of what you're doing for the next 4 weeks. Whatever you're doing right now to get deals, or if you're not doing anything, start doing something to get deals, right? For the next 4 weeks, keep track of what you're doing. Keep track of how many calls you're making every week. You'd be surprised at how little calls you're actually making. Most of my team, like last year, when they weren't keeping track of how many calls they were making, they thought they were making a lot of calls, but they would be really making 20, 30, 40 calls a day. In reality, we like to see our team making, 80, 90 plus calls a day. Ideally, 80, 90 plus calls a day is a great position to put yourself in. Is it 80 to 90 dials a day, or is that connections? That's dials. You're 80 to 90 connections with sellers a day when you're calling just leads that are already in, your CRM. That's a lot of dial. That would be a lot of conversations. To make 80 to 90 connections, you're going to have to make a few hundred calls a day, which would be very difficult to do. If out 80, 90 calls, if you're having, 20 to 30 plus conversations in a day, that's going to set you up real well to get contracts done. That's going to be a big game changer. But yeah, 80 to 90 dials, which will then lead to, that 20, 30 plus conversations. Obviously, the more you can do, the better, but you want to get it into a rhythm and a routine that you can stick to consistently. If you set yourself up over the next 4 weeks and you just say, all right, I'm going to commit to making this many calls every day, or you're driving for dollars and you're using, say, the Bats Driven app, and you're doing that over the next 4 weeks, and you're going to add a certain amount of properties a day and call a certain amount of homeowners a day, that's what's going to put yourself in a position to win. That's what's going to be able to help you get that first deal or your next deal. It's not going to be some mysterious thing and, where you're getting shiny object syndrome and thinking about, well, I saw on Facebook somebody did this to get a deal, and then now I saw on Instagram somebody else did this to get a deal. Stop paying attention to, what other people are doing and pick something and just run with it. There's people on this call that are doing well with direct mail. There's people on this call that are getting deals from cold calling. There's people on this call that are getting good deals from text marketing. There is multiple ways to get deals in this business. It's whatever you prefer to do and that works for you. Do that and just do it consistently. That's what's going to get you there.